Hello ladies and gentlemen, Panzer here, and welcome to American Truck Simulator. Now, if you're looking at this and you have seen the previous SCS game, i.e. Euro Truck Simulator 2 before, you might be thinking, well, that's a very crafty looking mod you've got on there. But no, this really is American Truck Simulator. Oh god, it just got really loud just then. And I'm here in an American truck. See, I'm used to calling these lorries, but it just seems more appropriate to call them trucks in American Truck Simulator, because they are these sort of stereotypical big rigs, and this one we're in is a Kenworth of some description. Now, I don't know the brands all that well of American trucks, so what we're actually looking at, there's even a cab in the back of this. Look at that! Got like a caravan and a TV, or is that... No, that's a TV, that's a microwave. Curtains and everything. That's actually really nicely done. Like, okay, basically if you've played a Euro Truck Simulator 2 before, this is more of the same, but there's a lot more detail in the world. So you can see there's people around, and I'm going to be talking a little bit more about that, because what we're going to do... Okay, we have a job already. I'm doing a quick job, and unfortunately this is not a very long trailer that I've got. The trailers in this game get really, really long. A lot longer than they do in Euro Trucks, so they do get a little bit ridiculous. So what we're actually going to be doing is we're going all the way to Las Vegas. Unfortunately, this is a very small trailer, so I can't really show you that. But you know what? This will allow me to get used to driving this anyway. So let's start it up here. Now, this is a Kenworth, and there are, at the moment, only two brands. There's Kenworth and there's Peterbilt. So, if you're familiar with the brands, there are no Max, as far as I know. And, there are several models of them already, but, yeah, there are no... I'm already on the wrong side of the road. There are no, Max. That's the only one I know. Or, I don't know, John Deere's, or whatever other brands there are, but these are the only two that are available yet. So, for now, there's that. Now, it's not going to be too much of a challenge driving, because our trailer is fairly short at the moment, so I'm going to be alright with that. One thing you will notice immediately, if you do have the volume turned up, is the engine sound. Now, American trucks have a very, very different engine sound to the European variants, especially. Mainly because of the engine position, the type of cabin, and so on, you will get a little bit different, a bit of a difference in the interior sound. Now, one thing is, as well, is I have no idea what American road rules are like. And to be fair, I don't drive personally, so I have a very vague understanding of road rules anyway. But this is going to be interesting, because I don't know the road rules at all. So if you haven't played a truck simulator game before, basically, Euro Truck Simulator, the sequel actually, which was a lot more popular, Euro Truck Simulator 2, was one of the more serious simulators. And it really took the whole thing very, very seriously. You have a lot of controls to look at. Or you can just play it in simple mode and just drive around. But they do take the simulation very seriously, in the sense that there are road rules to follow, as I'm talking about right now. Things like running the red light, speeding, not using your headlights at night, and all sorts of things. Those are taken into account, so... well, it's as realistic as it could possibly be. Now, this is all going to be completely uncut, so I have no idea how long this video is going to be. But... if you've got a bit of time, settle in, grab a nice snack and a drink, because this is going to be a long trip. So right now, in the this current version that I've got anyway, this is a pre-release version. I don't know if it's going to be launching with this content at this stage, but I believe what I have right now is the... or more or less the same as the launch version. And this includes California and Nevada. I believe Arizona might be the next state to come in. So we're going to actually just pop out and have a look at the map. So this is the menu. All very, very familiar. Here I've picked this guy because he looks like he's probably going to murder you in his sleep, or in your sleep. quite hard to murder somebody in your own sleep. But this is the map as it is right now. So just to give a sense of scale, okay, so I started in Los Angeles over here, and the previous one that I've done is up to Santa Cruz. I was going to do this run here because it has a very nice coastal road that's very scenic, but I decided let's take us to Las Vegas and see the City of Lights. And immediately, the music is different. As you can tell, very, very different, very American themed in a way. So, this is California here, for those unfamiliar with the American maps, and this is Nevada right here, and I believe this is the Mexico border. So this could be Arizona here, I'm not too sure. But anyway, at the moment we're limited to the west, this part of the west coast, or the southwest right now. So that's the map we're working with. But all in all, how the scale actually fits in, it is still doing the same thing that Euro Truck Simulator 2 does, in the sense that it is the real world map scaled down. So you aren't going to be driving for days on end, you're going to be driving for a couple of hours at most. However, they have expanded on it somewhat, and I unfortunately didn't get to show you much of LA, but you do get to drive around the city a lot more. See, in Europe, and this is what makes Euro Truck Sim 2 still fairly realistic, is that in Europe, it's not common for a lot of large lorries and heavy goods vehicles to be driving through the centers of villages and cities and all of that. It's not as common as it is in America. In America, most main roads, and as far as I know, it is fairly common to see big rigs coming through up to a certain size, as far as I know. But it is definitely a far more common sight than it is in Europe. In Europe, you'll normally see more of them in the... Oh, I think we're getting a bit of rain here. I just turned my lights on. That's odd. It supposedly never rains in California. What is this? But yeah, it is supposedly more common to see lorries on the road. Now, you might notice an interesting bit of traffic there. That's a police car. That's another police car, actually. Now, that's not just traffic. They are the new law enforcement. So, if, for example, I'm going to try and trigger it here, so I can talk a little bit about how the sort of enforcement system works. I wonder how fast I can be. I'm going to try and get a speeding ticket here. Let's see. There we go. So there, I've triggered a speeding offense, and you can see the lights. There's blues and twos coming up there, and that is actually how the law is enforced, more or less, in American Truck Simulator, because the cops can be all over the place. You might see police cars parked by the side of the road, you might see them driving along, as we did there, and sometimes you might see none. So occasionally you can actually get away with speeding for a long period of time if you don't see any cops around. Oh, there's one parked by the side of the road there. I was going to put the foot down and I was just like, there's a cop right there on the side of the road. So yeah, they don't pull you over or anything like that. They sort of flash their lights and hang around you while giving you the ticket. So that's a thing that happens. I believe it might not actually be raining, so I don't need my wipers on, but I probably still want to keep my headlights on because it is getting up to 8 o'clock and the sun is quite clearly setting now, so I'm gonna leave the lights on. There, like it's an ambulance. Yeah, there's a lot more traffic variety in the base game of American Truck Simulator than there was in Euro Truck, and that's simply because, well, we now have machines that are more capable of having that sort of thing happen. And the view distance is, of course, much further. Now, I do want to sort of turn my head and show you it, but I'm afraid of crashing into something, so we're going to leave that. Also, I'm not sure how many people noticed it earlier as well when we got the speeding offense, that it is actually $1,000. Now, in Euro Truck, the speeding offense, I believe, was 300 euros or something like that. And collisions with vehicles was 400 euros. Overall, it was about half in that sort of currency. Now, I don't think it's been adjusted for the difference in currency, more so than it has just been a case where penalties have been increased. So that is the thing that is definitely happening now. I'm speeding again, so I do want to be a little bit more careful about that. I'm tempted to put on cruise control for this. But yeah, so penalties do seem a lot harsher anyway. It is entirely possible to go into depth just on speeding fines alone. Now, so yeah, the draw distance has been increased somewhat, and you do have a lot more control over the graphics options. You have a lot more distance scaling options available, and in fact I could probably show you that in the options menu. Yeah, why not? I could probably do it now. So options menu, if we just head up to graphics, this looks fairly familiar. All the UI looks like it's just been straight up carried over, and that's not a bad thing. It was pretty easy to read before. So let's go to the advanced options here, and you can see all of these options. Now, I haven't done a comparison to see what's changed, but you can have more options in terms of like the mirrors and the distance scaling and things like that. And of course light visibility. You can even turn the pedestrians off. Now there are a lot more pedestrians in the city, so that might actually be something that you might want to play around with. In fact, now at this point I am going to turn the music down. Now there is radio volume as well. The internet radio is still here. We just head up to this. The music player of course is still here, but the radio stream, if we just update this, we still have all of these here. In fact, we have Truckers FM down there. Very, very good channel there. Shout out to those guys. The one that I do regularly listen to, actually, is those. And there was Eurotruck Radio, but I don't see them here. Yeah, there are plenty of them, and a lot more American ones. Like you can see, oh, this is actually Montreal. That's not American. There's American Road Radio and all of that. So it's more themed, but you still have that option available. And of course the same email system as well. Same sort of progression there. Nothing really too drastic in terms of changes here. In fact, everything looks straight up lifted from Eurotruck. Normally I would find that to be sort of lazy game dev in a way, but no, it works for them. So, you know, there's the whole concept of if it's not broke, don't fix it. And that's kind of what they've done here. But it still retains that sort of... it's almost mind-numbing kind of relaxing effect that Eurotruck has, and that's the real key point about it. See, the one thing that I've always said about Eurotruck 2 as well... oh god, I'm speeding. It's alright. Is that they've not just made a good simulator. Like, it's good to make a good simulator. If that's what you're going for, make it as realistic as possible. You know, pull out all the stops and have it be as realistic as you can possibly make it. Now, that's a good thing. But what it also needs to be, and this is for if you're not aiming for just the simulator market, you're aiming for everybody else, it needs to be a game that is a game as well. And that's the thing that Eurotruck really nailed, was that it is still a game. You still have the jobs to do, but you also have a sort of business management aspect of it. You've got the exploration aspect of it, because it does mark down which roads you travel and which towns you've been to, and all of that will give you access to more job types, more garages, more recruitment agencies and all of that. It all helps to expand the business aspect of it, so it is still a good game. In fact, this is 80. I don't know why I'm going so slow. I guess my main complaints about this would probably be the fact that, well, it's mainly to do with its setting, really. Being in America, I mean, the road rules are different, and some parts I do find a little bit strange, a little bit frustrating. Like, it's very common for cars to turn right on red. Like, that's something that is common in the States. Right, cars are allowed to turn right on red, and the very first time I did that, I got a warning for it. I actually got fined red light offense for that, and I was very confused as to why, because I saw a car turn and I just followed them, and as it turns out, trucks are not allowed to do that, but cars are. So if you're not familiar with American road rules, again, it's going to bite you. And wow, we're already in Vegas. So that's kind of quick. That without indicating there, but it doesn't matter. We can see the lights of the big city here. In fact, we're probably going to turn right down here. I do probably want to see if we can drive down the strip. I don't think we can, but it is still, it looks the part. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna park up by the side here, just because I can, and we're not too far from our destination anyway. So let's just get the exterior cam out and zoom out a little bit. So what you can see over there, I believe, are the MGM Grand Hotels, I think it is. I'm not really too sure about that. I'm just trying to find the best view for it. But it certainly looks like Vegas. I mean, this is the outskirts of Vegas where we've got that sort of hotels, the little motels, and then in there is the big city itself. But if we just have a look at the map here, and just zoom in all the way in, you can actually see there's a lot more drivable road. Like lots of little streets and things that, yeah, that a Eurotruck didn't used to have. Even in London, you had a small section about this size. But that distance there isn't particularly long. Right, we've travelled, I guess, trip distance was 11 miles? That doesn't sound right. I don't think it was 11 miles. Either way, through Barstow and Primm to Las Vegas, that is not particularly long at all. And in fact, I think this route over here goes through the Sierra Nevada mountains. I think it is, because Tahoe was somewhere along the... Yeah, it's probably through Tahoe. I don't know why that's not marked on there. But anyway, so you get a lot more roads to drive along. In fact, over here it's fairly busy. Nevada still is a little bit sparse, but I don't know if that's a reflection of Nevada itself or whether that's the game just not being fleshed out in that area yet, because Nevada is the new area. But let's get a move on, and let's see what the rest of Las Vegas is like. Now, you might also notice these roads are actually pretty big, and that's one of the comments I've heard about American Truck Sim versus Euro Truck Sim quite a lot, was that the roads are significantly larger, and that's just a reflection of the setting itself. American roads do tend to be quite a lot larger, and this is just based on my own experience from Los Angeles and San Francisco and all the roads in between, that the roads genuinely are larger than a lot of other places in the world. Alright, so that looks like, oh god, that does look like the actual strip itself. Yeah, that's Las Vegas there, as that famous sign over there. It is red. You can see there, that car was turning on a red, and it's green now, but he was turning on a red. I do want to go down that way though. But that looks like the strip up ahead there, and I don't think we can go any further. So it's still, you know, something that is still fairly common in these games, that there just are roads that you will not be able to go down as much as you would like to. Let's just merge into this lane here, because we are going to be turning right after all. Now, for the actual drivers as well, certain considerations that need to be made for American Truck Sim is that you are driving a different type of vehicle. It is not this... Oh, God. I use my mirrors. You're not driving the same type of vehicle as you are in Euro Truck Sim. These are much larger, although it may not appear to be so. You've got a lot more on the frontage as well, so parking is a little bit more tricky. And speaking of parking, this is the new system that they've implemented. So here, you can notice I haven't actually put the trailer away yet. That's because they've added this. So this is the trailer delivery system. And this is a new sort of thing you can do. Now, previously, you could just leave the trailer and skip the whole parking malarkey and then go. Now you have three options. So, right here, this on the right is the actual map of the area, and this is the hardest difficulty parking. This is parking where exactly where the destination sort of people want it to be. So here they want it at the back of the building. Playing it safe allows you to park it some ways away, gives you a little bit of a challenge, but is overall an easier parking method. And then, of course, if you click this, you can skip it entirely. And you can see, of course, the associated parking bonuses. Now, these do scale depending on the difficulty. So if it's in a difficult location, you have a longer trailer, etc., you get more XP for it. So it is worthwhile trying to do it, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to park it up there and move on, because I do realize now that this trip up to Vegas is not as long as I thought it would be. And I do want to show you that coastal road anyway, so we'll see if we can do that. This is, of course, driving at night, so let's see if we can do that during the day, possibly. There we go. So that's playing it safe there. And there we go. So it's pretty much identical screens here. Nothing really being changed aside from the currency over the whole thing. Right, so let's get another job. And let's see if we can get that same route that I want to show you. Alright, there it is. That's not it. That's it. Right, this will actually go by the freeway, right, or the motorway. That'll go straight there to Santa Cruz, which is not what we want. We want to go by this little winding road here, where I can actually talk about the overall scenery. Hopefully... Oh, it's at 10 PM though. Yeah, it is at night, but hopefully we do progress into day long enough that I can actually show you that... Oh god, this trailer is... Right! Without looking, what I've actually done... That is a sizable trailer. Now, it might not appear to be all that different from Eurotruck, but if I just use that wall there as a guide, in Eurotruck, this where it cuts off here is normally where the end of the trailer is. That is significantly longer. Bearing in mind as well, if we just look at that there. So from my point of view, that nose sticking over the line there is not something I would normally be able to see. So these are the considerations for drivers that you would probably have to make. It's just that what you're driving is a lot larger. In some cases, ooh, that was really close to hitting the wall there. In some cases, really long. So we have to go quite a lot further out just to make that turn there. You can see just there, that is exactly what I've done. So I had to actually go quite a lot wider out just to make that happen. I don't know why I switched to exterior cam, it's not like you can see it at night time, but hopefully that gives you an idea. Now, the additional length, if you look at just that one up ahead there, right? So you look at that one there. You can see the length of the wheelbase there. I know it was a green, I could have gone. That wheelbase difference, it actually affects the way you drive. Genuinely. Because reversing is actually a lot less effective. You have a lot less maneuverability. So overall, what you're driving is... I might be overhanging the line quite significantly. Yes, I am. It's green now, though. I should probably go. Okay, let's go. So you are going to find yourself having to compensate for that a lot, because what you're driving just isn't as nimble. It's not as compact and is going to struggle when it comes to really, really narrow spaces. And that's the thing, they've upped the challenge. I genuinely think they've upped the challenge for this game, because by allowing you to park in the actual delivery zones in a lot of the places, some of those places are absolute nightmares to park in. And I believe the place we're going to is one of those. So if it comes to that, we'll see how I feel when we get there. Because I have no idea whether I'm up to even parking in that area. But yeah, so looking at the scenery around here, you can actually look at it as we're driving along. This is a proper suburb. This isn't like some section of Los Angeles. This is actually... I mean, I don't know how accurate it is, but I know that this is quite a lot more fleshed out than any of the places in Eurotruck. Almost overshot the line there. can even see the other drivers there. Come to think of it, I don't remember if we can see the actual driver. Oh, we can. He doesn't look like the one I've picked, but we can see the actual driver in there now. And I don't remember Euro Truck 2 doing that, but hey, maybe I'm just remembering it wrongly. And let's see where the GPS is taking me. Yes, I believe this is going the way I wanted it to. So, oh, that's a police car in front. Now, I don't believe I can go because it's red, but they both just went, so I don't know if that means I could have gone or not. Maybe I could have gone. See, I don't know. I genuinely have no idea about the road rules in America. Also, this is the first time I've seen red indicators. Is that a thing in America? Oh god, that almost hit the hedge there. Right. Like, is that normal? Red indicators? Because I thought everywhere was just universal. Red is the brake lights, and then amber or yellow as your indicators. But it seems like all the cars in here have red indicators. Ooh, that was close. Also, this area here is 15 miles an hour. 15. Just to give you an idea, 15 is about there. That's like walking speed. Is that normal? I'm genuinely questioning everything about America now. Why is this section 15? Can barely keep it going at 15. And now I have to go from 15 to 55. Yeah, good luck with that. I can see why merging might be an issue sometimes. See, why wouldn't you have it going like 35 to 55 rather than 15 to 55? I mean, this could just be something in the game where it's just that section has been compressed so much that the speed limit there stays. Oh god, I'm in the wrong lane. Cock. Alright. This is where we're going to break the rules a bit. Yes, it's red, and I just hope nobody pulls out at the moment. And I didn't get caught. Probably because there were no cops in the area whatsoever, that I was able to do that. That was quite blatantly beating the red light, or at least very obviously ignoring the red light, but yeah. Oh, and now here it's back to 30 again. But yeah, so this is one of those sort of winding coastal roads, and in fact, if it wasn't so dark, you could even see it there. That's the actual sea there. Oh, there's a big cruise liner over there. I'm crossing over that in the lane there. Let's just park up by the side of the road here and sort of try to take it in a little bit. So you can actually see there is a cruise liner out there. Everyone's just going past me now. And you can see there's the sea. And I believe you can even see moving waves there. Yeah, no, those are definitely moving. It actually looks really nice. It looks even better in the day, though. Alright, so let's move along then. Of course, mirrors, as usual, are completely useless at night. I don't know why the rear view, or the right side mirror, is more brightly lit than the left. No idea. Not going to question it. Just going to keep moving. I can see this nice motel over here as well. It's just, yeah, I don't know about most people, but I'm the sort of people, yes, I'm the sort of people. I'm the sort of person that prefers these sort of country roads. It's like, why in Euro Truck 2 I liked driving around in Wales a lot and Scotland a lot, is because just how many sort of back roads and country roads there were. And even if you have Pro Mods 2 installed, you have access to a lot more places up in the Scandinavian areas. And they have a lot more of those country roads and things. And if you went up to Finland, you had snow and all of that to deal with. In fact, icy roads are a nightmare to drive on, but still a good challenge. But sticking with sort of freeways and motorways and all of that, it's just drive in a straight line for a long time. And I don't know, I don't find that particularly interesting. But yeah, that's one of the more interesting things about this particular route, is that it does take this sort of winding road along the coast, which at some points, as you saw earlier, or at least I tried to show you earlier, is genuinely scenic. We're gonna have to turn to the left over here. That's braking way too soon. Alright, so go up to the line here and let's turn in. Bear in mind that the trailer is really, really long. But this is an on-ramp, so we should be quite alright with that. And we can accelerate up to 55 here, so it should be fine. Just kind of wish this wasn't at night, because this is actually a very, very nice route to see during the day. Now that's one thing they've definitely improved from the previous game, is just that there is so much more to the world, there's so much more to see, and they've really fleshed it out. In fact, in the places that I'm going to, you'll see a lot more life in the world. I mean, here we're just on a small section of freeway going up to Santa Cruz now, and that's one thing you will see when we go into Oxnard. In fact, we're going through Oxnard to get to, is it Oxnard? Oxnard? I don't know. But, that's one of the places we have to go through on the way to Santa Cruz, so, you'll actually see a lot of these small towns, or at least smaller cities, do have a lot more life to them. They're not just a few buildings and a possible petrol station. Even when there's not much in there, it's somewhere that you just drive through. There's a lot more life to it. Still tailgating this guy a little bit. Yeah, the extra weight of a lot of the trailers means that the traffic in front of you, if you are stuck behind a lot of other trucks, is that they will slow down quite significantly, so tailgating is a bit of an issue. Or at least it's something you shouldn't do if you value your safety in any way. If you're not one to care, then it really doesn't matter, but yeah, they will seem to slow down very, very quickly when the slightest of inclines appears. I believe just around this corner there is another very scenic route, and it's still only 3 in the morning. So we really can't see anything, but that is the ocean right there. And this road just goes all the way along the coast, and I get so stuck watching it that I miss my turn. And I don't know if I can actually turn around in this space. No, this is something that everybody does. Every trucker does this. You see this all the time in America, right? I'm sure Americans will back me up. This is normal. Ooh, I'm actually genuinely surprised I was able to do that. I'm pretty sure I hit something, but we'll just go with it. We might be hitting several things at the moment, actually. But you know what? I'll go with it. Right, remember I said that the trailers are very, very long? Yeah. That looked like I can go through it. But no, I am actually hitting the barrier there. So in actual fact, I need to go back up. And I need to go around a little bit more just to get that through. Even mount the curb to get it around the corner. That is to the extent, like when I first did this run, it was... I mean, it was during the day as well, but it was with a significantly longer trailer. A significantly shorter trailer, sorry. And this was not so much of an issue. I am curious to see how much this is going to affect me, because that is a lot longer than what I took before. Oh, but look at that. You just look at this pier out in the sand. And then we're just going through this area right here, which for some reason is 55 miles an hour. Like, bloody hell. I wouldn't go through here at 55. And there's a single lane road going at that, but yeah. It's a nice little sleepy seaside town of Oxnard. Oh, and over here there's basketball. They're still there. Yeah, there are guys playing basketball there. You can just barely see them under the headlights. Playing basketball in the dark, because that's something teenagers do. And you're going to see, if you watch the speed limit at the moment, it's going to go from 55 to 30 without any warning whatsoever. Which is why I'm not actually trying to do 55 at the moment. It's going to drop any moment now. Just immediately go to 30. Maybe it's not. Maybe I've missed that entirely. No, maybe I have missed that entirely. Yep, okay, no, I was wrong. There was a point in time where it did actually drop to 30 though, and I'm not sure where that was. But yeah, it will just suddenly do that, and something that Euro Truck did as well, so I can't really fault the game for that. Frankly, that's just something that happens. I can really feel that extra weight when trying to climb these slopes. And then we've got to brake because there's a red light. See if we can just creep forward a little bit. I'm probably over the line anyway. Oh, well over the line. There we go. But yeah, this is genuinely how I play games. I play GTA like this too, stopping at the lights, trying to pretend to be an NPC. But this is how you play this game too, which is probably why I like it so much. And as much as this is a simulator, the one thing I always turn off is fatigue simulation. Now, I haven't turned it off for this, but none of the trips have been long enough that they actually require resting of any kind. At least not yet, anyway. So the map definitely feels bigger, but it's actually smaller in a way. The distances are shorter, but they definitely feel like there's more to them, if that makes sense. It's just the sense of scale in the place. Everything feels much bigger when you're driving through it. Like, there's big, wide open areas, lots more populated cities. But in actual fact, the map is, at the moment anyway, more or less kind of smaller. Because getting from place to place is a much shorter time than it would be in Euro Truck. There's one thing I do want to do is just do another sort of road trip type video. The last one I did wasn't particular. Oh, I could actually turn my lights off. But we do have a bit of light coming up now. And, ooh, in fact, no. You know what? Screw the rules. I am going to show you this. In fact, I'm going to turn my engine off. You can horn at me all you like. Okay, actually, you know what? We might have to move along. I just want to show them things. What is wrong with you people? So yeah, you can actually see it there. Just that amount of detail in the coast. It's such a scenic route. And we could drive along this nice winding road. Oh, it's absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, they've really, really outdone themselves when it comes to scenery in this game. And that's basically what I wanted to show you just by taking this route. It's just how much of work has gone into just making this look absolutely beautiful. I mean, graphically, it's still running on the same engine as far as I know from Euro Truck Sim 2, but they've just upped the detail in a way. I guess the simplest way to really sum this up is that this is Euro Truck Sim 2, but more of the same. Or even Euro Truck Sim 2 turned up to 11 even when it comes to detail. I mean, sure, it's not the prettiest game in the world, but it works. It's realistic enough. And just the attention to detail in the gameplay is just absolutely stunning. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, this is my go-to game when it comes to just wanting to chill out and kind of relax. I have been playing this entire video with a Xbox 360 racing wheel. Now that's probably not the go-to wheel when it comes to driving games. Definitely if you're looking for something with a degree of precision, definitely have a look at the Logitech series of wheels. The G27 especially is probably one of the most lauded wheels in that sort of market. But you know what, this works. I mean, I had it, so I might as well use it. And it definitely serves its purpose here. I mean, I don't have indicators that I can use. But hey, I'm using the paddle shifters for that. That sort of works. I mean, you could play this with a mouse and keyboard. You absolutely could, or a controller if you wanted to. It's just, this is the sort of game that seems like playing with a wheel kind of does it justice, if you do have it. But even if you don't, still probably one of the most relaxing games to play out there. Even if you're absolutely terrible at it, it's still got a certain amount of zen to it. Right, so we're coming up to the place where we do need to drop off the cargo, and unfortunately this is a quick job, so I can't drive around this area after that. So I'm going to end this one here, in a place where you can actually see what's happening. We've got people parking up behind us, but you know what? Screw them. Got a nice... Shut up! Got a nice background there. As we sort of end it here. And look at the god rays there. Oh. Yeah. It's a pretty game in some respects. But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This has been Panzer taking a look at American Truck Simulator. It is, by all counts, the spiritual successor to... Well, no, it is the direct successor to Euro Truck Sim 2, and the American setting opens up so many new opportunities for them, and they've really, really expanded on what they already had going for them. I mean, the amount of detail, the amount of simulation level, and just the fact that it still has that kind of calming effect while playing it. Something truly special. Thank you very much for watching. This has been Panzer taking a look at American Truck Simulator. It's now available on Steam. Go check it out. And if you haven't played Euro Truck Sim 2, why not? Best time to get them both. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.